The truck's headlights blinded me as I stumbled across the rain-slicked Chicago street. My ex's cruel laughter echoing in my ears from our final fight. In that split second before impact, regret flooded minute for dying, but for wasting my life begging for scraps of affection from a man who only knew how to break me. But death wasn't the end. It was a cruel joke, hurling me back 5 years to the day I first met him, my heart pounding in a body that felt both familiar and foreign. I woke up gasping in my old apartment in Brooklyn, the calendar on the wall mocking me with the date, June 15th, 2020. My hands trembled as I touched my face in the mirror, younger, unmarked by the bruises and scars that would come later. This time, I vowed silently, staring into my own eyes. No more. No begging for attention. No chasing after ghosts of love. And absolutely no toxic exes like Ryan, who had drained my soul until there was nothing left. I was reborn with one goal: to build a life worth living. On my own terms. The city buzzed around me as I stepped out into the humid New York summer. The sounds of honking taxis and distant sirens grounding me in this second chance. I had been a graphic designer back then, scraping by in a tiny studio. But my real prison was Ryan. We met at a pride event in the village, his charisma pulling me in like a moth to flame. He was all sharp smiles and promises, but beneath it lurked control, jealousy, and fists that left marks only I could see. In my first life, I chased him for years, begging for forgiveness after his rages, convinced I couldn't survive without him. It ended with me broken, alone, and dead at 28. Not this time. I deleted his number from my phone before temptation could strike, blocking every social media trace. I focused on hitting the gym, landing freelance gigs that paid better, even volunteering at an LGBTQ+ center in Manhattan. It felt liberating, like shedding a skin that had suffocated me. Friends noticed the change. My best buddy, Marco, raised an eyebrow over coffee one morning. "Alex, you look different. Like you've got fire in you now." I smiled, sipping my latte. Just woke up. Man. Really woke up. Weeks turned into months, and I reveled in the freedom. No late-night texts pleading for Ryan to come back. No tears over ignored calls. I dated casually, but nothing stuck me. Heart was guarded, walls high from the lessons of rebirth. Then, at a gallery opening in Chelsea, I met Liam. He was curating the show, his blonde hair catching the soft lights as he explained a painting to a group. Tall, with kind hazel eyes and a laugh that warmed the room. He wasn't flashy like Ryan. When our gazes met across the crowd, something sparked, not the desperate pull of before, but a gentle curiosity. We talked for hours about art, life in the city, and dreams deferred. He was a teacher by day, artist by night, openly gay and unapologetic about his past heartbreaks. "You're intense," he said later, as we walked along the high line under the stars. "Like you've lived twice." I chuckled nervously. "You have no idea." Our connection grew slowly, built on shared coffees and late-night walks. Liam didn't demand. He offered. He listened when I vaguely shared my past mistakes, never pushing for more. For the first time, romance felt like partnership, not possession. But shadows lingered. Ryan was still out there, and fate or whatever cruel force had reborn me seemed determined to test my resolve. It started with a chance sighting at a bar in Hell's Kitchen. I was with Liam, our hands intertwined, when Ryan sauntered in, his eyes locking on mine like a predator spotting prey. My stomach twisted. He hadn't changed, same cocky grin. Same aura of entitlement. Alex. Long time. He drawled, ignoring Liam completely. I straightened. Voice steady. Yeah. And it's staying that way. He laughed, but his eyes narrowed. Come on. We had something special. You always come back. Not anymore, I said, turning away with Liam, my heart racing but unbroken. That night, as Liam and I lay in his cozy apartment in Williamsburg, he traced patterns on my back. Who was that guy? Old news, I murmured, pulling him closer. You're mine now? But Ryan didn't fade quietly. Texts started, blocked numbers. Persistent. Miss you. Babe. Let's talk. Then calls at work. Whispers of, I know where you live. Paranoia crept in. Memories of his jealousy-fueled rages flashing like warnings. I confided in Marco, who urged me to get a restraining order. This guy's toxic. Alex. Don't let him drag you down again. I nodded, filing the paperwork at the precinct. But doubt gnawed. Was this rebirth just a loop, doomed to repeat? Liam noticed my tension, his concern deepening our bond. Whatever it is, we're in this together, he said one evening over dinner at a little Italian spot in the East Village. His words were a balm, but the storm was building. One rainy afternoon, Ryan cornered me outside my freelance office in Midtown. You think you can just walk away? After everything I did for you? His voice was low, threatening. You did nothing but hurt me. I shot back, adrenaline surging. I'm done begging. Done chasing. Get out of my life. He grabbed my arm, but I wrenched free. Years of suppressed anger fueling me. Passers-by stared, and a security guard intervened. But the encounter left me shaken. That night, I broke down in Liam's arms, spilling fragments of my truth without the rebirth part. Of course, he made me feel worthless. I won't go back. Liam held me tight. You're not worthless. You're everything. Our love blossomed amid the chaos. Stolen moments of joy contrasting the dread. We explored the city together, picnics in Central Park, kisses atop the Empire State Building. Liam's patience taught me vulnerability without fear. His touch a reminder that love could heal, not harm. But Ryan's obsession escalated. He showed up at the LGBTQ+ center where I volunteered, feigning interest in programs, his eyes always on me. Marco pulled me aside one day. This is stalking. Alex. We need to end it. I agreed, but fear mixed with determination. This was my test to break the cycle. Not just for me, but to show that rebirth meant growth. Liam stood by me, his support unwavering. I love you, he confessed during a quiet walk along the Brooklyn Bridge, the city lights twinkling below. Whatever comes, we'll face it. Those words ignited hope. For the first time, I believed in a future without chains. The climax hit on a crisp fall evening. I was leaving a meeting in Soho when Ryan ambushed me in an alley, his face twisted in rage. You think that pretty boy can replace me? You're mine. Alex. Always were. He lunged, but I dodged, my phone already dialing 911. No. Ryan. I'm free. Sirens wailed as police arrived, cuffing him amid his protests. It was over, or so I thought. In the station, giving my statement, I learned Ryan had a history, other exes, similar stories. My report might help them too. Relief washed over me, mingled with pity, not for him, but for the man I once was. Liam waited outside, wrapping me in his arms. "Proud of you," he whispered. That night, as we sat on his rooftop overlooking the skyline, I felt reborn anew. I was given a second chance. I said softly, "To choose better. To choose you." He smiled, leaning in for a kiss that tasted of promise. "And I choose you. Every day." Months later, winter blanketed the city in snow. Ryan faced charges, his toxicity exposed. But I focused forward. I proposed to Liam on New Year's Eve in Times Square, the ball dropping as he said yes amid cheers. Our love wasn't dramatic fireworks. It was steady flame, warming the cold places inside me. Rebirth taught me self-worth wasn't begged or chazed, it was earned, nurtured in healthy bonds. No more toxic exes. Only real love, meaningful and true. The wedding was intimate, held in a quaint chapel upstate, surrounded by friends and the first blooms of spring. Marco stood as my best man, tears in his eyes as Liam and I exchanged vows. In this life, I promised, I choose you without hesitation, without fear. Liam's response echoed, his voice thick with emotion. "You've shown me what real strength looks like. I love you for who you are, reborn and whole." Honeymoon in San Francisco followed, wandering the foggy streets, holding hands at the Golden Gate, sharing dreams under starry skies. Liam sketched me on the beach, capturing not just my features but the light in my eyes, the one absent in my first life. "You're radiant," he said, and I believed him. Back in New York, we settled into a brownstone in Park Slope, turning it into a home filled with art and laughter. I advanced in my career, starting a design firm focused on LGBTQ+ advocacy campaigns. Liam's teaching inspired youth, his evenings devoted to painting scenes from our life. But echoes of the past lingered. Therapy helped unpack the trauma. Sessions where I danced around the rebirth truth but delved into the pain. One session, I admitted, I used to think love meant suffering. Now, I know it means growth. The therapist nodded. That's the human value, learning, evolving. Ryan's trial came and went. He was convicted, sentenced to time that would force reflection, perhaps change. I testified calmly, my voice steady. No longer the begging boy, but a man reclaimed. Media picked up the story, anonymized, highlighting domestic abuse in the community. It sparked conversations, support groups forming, lives potentially saved. Liam and I volunteered together now, mentoring young queer folks navigating relationships. Watch for red flags. I'd say, love shouldn't hurt. Their stories mirrored mine, fueling my purpose. Rebirth wasn't just personal. It rippled outward, a wave of empathy. Challenges arose. Liam's family, conservative Midwesterners, struggled with acceptance. A tense Thanksgiving in Chicago tested us, his mother's pointed questions cutting deep. Is this phase over? She asked. Liam stood firm. It's not a phase, Mom. It's my life. I squeezed his hand under the table, proud. Later, in our hotel, he sighed. Sorry about that. Don't be, I replied. We're building our family. Over time, bridges mended. His sister reached out. Then his dad. Small victories. Human connections forged through patience. Our love deepened in quiet ways. Cooking disasters turned into inside jokes. Lazy Sundays reading in bed. Spontaneous dances in the kitchen. Liam's touch was always gentle. His words affirming. "You make me better," he'd say. And I'd respond. "We make each other." But drama resurfaced when an old friend from my first life contacted me, Sarah, who had witnessed Ryan's abuse. I saw the news. She messaged, "Proud of you for escaping." We met for coffee in Greenwich Village. Her eyes wide as I shared edited truths. "I feel like a different person," I confessed. "You are," she said. "Stronger." Her words affirmed my journey, but they stirred memories. That night, I dreamed of the accident, waking in sweat. Liam soothed me. "Whatever haunts you, share it." I hesitated, then whispered, "What if I told you I died once? Came back to fix it all?" He chuckled softly. "I'd say you're my miracle." In that moment, vulnerability bloomed into deeper intimacy. Our physical connection, always passionate, became soulful explorations of bodies and hearts, free from past shadows. As years blurred, we adopted a rescue dog, then considered kids. Discussions over wine, surrogacy, adoption. "I want to give someone the love I craved," I said. Liam nodded. "We'll be great dads." The city changed around us, protests for rights, celebrations of pride, but our core remained. On our 5th anniversary, we renewed vows on the High Line, where it began. "No more begging," I teased. "No more chasing," he replied, kissing me amid applause. Life's kinks came. My firm hit a rough patch during economic dips. Liam's art faced rejection. We navigated together, supporting without smothering. "Team us," he'd say. One evening, walking through Central Park, snowflakes dancing, I reflected on rebirth's gift. Not just avoiding toxicity, but embracing wholeness. Love wasn't a goal. It was the journey, meaningful in its authenticity. Our son arrived via adoption 2 years later, a bright-eyed boy named Ethan, with curls like Liam's and energy that filled our home. At 3, he toddled into our lives from a foster system that echoed my own fragmented youth. "Dada," he'd call, reaching for both of us. His innocence a daily reminder of hope. Parenthood amplified everything, joys in his first steps, worries during fevers. Liam and I tag-teamed, our bond unbreakable. "This is what matters," Liam said one night, as Ethan slept between us. "Family," I agreed, heart full. But life tested us again. Ethan's biological mother resurfaced, battling addiction, seeking custody. Courtrooms in Brooklyn became battlegrounds, lawyers arguing rights. Fear gripped Melosing him would shatter our world. "We can't let this happen," I told Liam, pacing our living room. "We won't," he assured, pulling me close. We're his family. The process dragged. Emotional roller coaster of visits and evaluations. Memories of Ryan's control surfaced, but I channeled them into advocacy. Hiring experts on queer parenting. Community rallied, petitions, fundraisers. Marco organized support, reminding me, "You've overcome worse." In court, I spoke from the heart. Love isn't biology. It's choice. We choose Ethan every day. The judge ruled in our favor. Ethan's laughter echoing as we left. Victory tasted sweet, but it highlighted fragility, how one toxic thread could unravel lives. It inspired me to expand my firm, creating resources for LGBTQ+ families. Years passed. Ethan grew into a teen, navigating identity in a progressive yet challenging world. At 14, he confided, "I think I like boys. Dad." My heart swelled. That's okay. Love who you love, but respect yourself first. Liam and I shared knowing glances. Our story a blueprint. We attended his first Pride parade together, flags waving in Manhattan streets. "Proud of you," I whispered. Ethan grinned. "Thanks to you guys." Aging brought reflections. Gray streaked our hair, but passion endured stolen kisses, shared dreams. Liam's art gained recognition, galleries showcasing pieces inspired by our life. One painting, Reborn Embrace, depicted two figures in light, symbolizing us. At its opening, he toasted to second chances. I clinked glasses. To us. Tragedy struck when Marco fell ill, cancer. Aggressive. We rallied. Hospital visits blending tears and laughter. "You saved me once," he told me weakly. "Now live fully." His passing gutted us, but it underscored life's brevity. We traveled Europe with Ethan. Beaches in California. No regrets. Became our mantra. In quiet moments, I'd ponder the rebirth. Was it divine? Scientific glitch? It didn't matter. The value was in the lessons: human resilience, love's power to redeem. On our 20th anniversary, atop the Empire State again, Liam proposed renewal. "Forever. Always," I said, kissing him as city lights blurred. Ethan, now in college, called. "Love you, dads." Our legacy: a son thriving, a community touched, a love enduring. As I lay beside Liam one night, his breathing steady, gratitude overwhelmed. No more begging, chasing, or toxicity. Just meaningful existence, rich in emotion. Drama turned to depth. Rebirth's goal achieved, a life of authentic love, proving that from ashes, beauty rises. The end wasn't death, but fulfillment, human, profound, eternal.